Welcome to the FCIAC football podcast. We're coming off another good week of games. The biggest one being Greenwich getting a win over Trumbull to climb up to number 4 in the polls. And talking about polls, or sitting in the new number 2 spot right now, undefeated, is New Canaan, and the Rams are coming off a 45-0 win over Wilton, in which the defense scored 3 touchdowns. And the defense is something special right now in New Canaan. And joining me as my guest this week to talk about it is Rams coach Lou Marinelli. Lou, how you doing?
Pretty good right now, for sure.
Yeah. 6-0 sounds pretty good. Looks pretty good, huh?
Sounds great. Yep. Kids have worked hard.
I know you about as well as any coach, and you don't BS. If you think you have a good team, you're gonna say so, and if you're not certain, you're gonna say what you did after every week last week, that you're a work in progress. So in the preseason, I don't know if it's changed, but I really don't think you knew what to expect from a cast of mostly new players.
But it's usually that way every year. And you never know, how they're going to gel and some of the injuries that you have. So you never really know what you have. And then every week it's kind of a work in progress. But this group especially have really done well, and they've played really well together. So it's really, they're fun to be with at the end of the day. You look forward to practice. And being with them and watching them improve. And they've certainly come a long way since the beginning of the year.
And you started right off with injuries, and your starting quarterback, Ty Groff, gets into a bicycle accident in the preseason and breaks his wrist and can only kick. Max Lurt, who I think would have been your most explosive offensive player, tears an ACL in the spring, and I know you're hoping to get him back. I know you lost another couple of receivers and your top running back. So and that's pretty much how you went into the season, other than a couple of wide receiver injuries. So what do you do right off the bat when you're that beaten up?
You go to church a lot. But the one thing that's been pretty good is both offense and defensive lines. And when you have that, you're always going to have a chance. And those guys have really come a long way, both sides of the ball. And we've been able to run the ball and protect the quarterback. And the defense, I think, has been really gelled together. Those kids, they just love playing together. And, they have a coaching staff on that side of the ball that, there's 4 or 5 guys that could all be head coaches, and a few of them have been, college coaches, and they really do a great job of scheming up for each week.
I want to talk a lot about the defense, but I found this before. This might be the strangest statistic I've seen in high school football in a long time, with a New Canaan team that we're used to seeing averaging 40 and 50 points a game. We're 6 weeks into the season, and you don't have one receiver yet with 100 yards.
That's our secret. That's our secret weapon. We're gonna let it all fly this weekend, boy. We're gonna.
You do have a lot. You do have a lot.
100 yards.
You may have the team with the most in the 60 and 70 yard range. So maybe that's how you're compensating.
We like to spread it around. We don't like to give it to one guy.
Well, number one, you started a sophomore, Alex Russi, and he's thrown into a tough situation, given the competition, and it's a tough situation for any sophomore. And I know you've wanted him to manage the game, and he's done that pretty well.
Yeah, he has, and he's coming along. He's getting better each week, and the fact that we had Ty back, it gives us some options, because they all have different skill sets, and it's just kind of matching up what our kids do, and and trying to get the right combinations in there against the people we play.
And then, I mean, you're running the ball 3 times for every pass, and you've gotten a lot out of number one. Hunter Telesco has really done a nice job for you with 602 yards and 10 touchdowns. And then Luke Reed, who you've been using out of the Wildcat a lot too. They both done a nice job with you behind that offensive line.
Yeah, they've done a great job. Hunter Telesco, what a pleasant surprise he's been. He's done some things, and he seems to be getting better. And Luke Reed is a guy. He's like a utility guy. You play him a quarterback, you play him a running back, you can play him a receiver, you play him a tight end. He does a lot of things for us. So it's just kind of putting a puzzle together each week to make sure that everything kind of fits the way it should.
Well, let's talk about that defense, which has just been incredible, and is actually a really fun story. You've only given up 21 points in 6 games, and 4 shutouts, 3 your last 3 games. I was standing on the sideline for Friday night watching the Wilton game, which you won 45-0, and you had 3 defensive touchdowns. And I'm watching these guys come out off the field, and it reminded me of the day when Michael Collins would be a quarterback. He'd come in and he'd throw 1 or 2 passes, and you'd be in the end zone, and everybody's getting the whole sideline's energetic and not. And now it's the defense doing it, whether you're scoring 3 touchdowns or you're making a stop in 3rd and 1. It's just like the whole sideline becomes energized when they come off the field. I'm even watching you, and you look more energized than I've seen you.
Yeah, those kids are excited to play on both sides of the ball. And I think it's the group of kids we have. This year's senior class has done a great job. Our captains have done a great job leading us. And they're excited to play. And, on the sideline, they're all rooting for one another. Somebody does something good, and they got 10 of their brothers right there with them, to congratulate them and everything. So it's been really good. There's, I can't sense any jealousies. I can't sense any dissension among the group. They're just a really fun group to be with. They really are.
I mean, you said they feed off of each other, and you had Tucker Milligan, who had the 99-yard interception return for a touchdown. That was after Wilton broke its one long play of the day. They're on the 3-yard line, looking to tie the game at 7-7. And if there's a turning point in a 45-0 game, that was it. But then
and the thing that was really thrilling for me personally was that Tucker, I wasn't sure, he's had a little bumpy road in high school in the first few years, and he's come so far, and the fact that he intercepts and runs it back 99 yards, which I believe is the school record. The fact that I coached his dad when he was in high school, who's always been so supportive of the program, whether he had kids in or not. It's something special for me. So I was so glad to see him. I honestly didn't think he was that fast, but I guess when you got a lot of guys chasing you. For me, it was special. And I know, because I called the dad the next day, and we had a few laughs about that. It was great to see, because the father's been so supportive of not only our program, but in the youth. He's been a leader in the youth wrestling as well. He's just he's really done really well as far as youth sports goes in New Canaan.
And then in the 3rd quarter, it was about 3 plays apart. You have sacks that are returned for touchdowns. Walker Blair returned one, and then I'm trying to remember, was it O'Connor who fell on the ball? Yeah, fell on the ball in the end zone. I mean, you don't see one of those plays in a game usually, let alone 2, about 3 plays apart. And it's like a feeding frenzy. Your guys make a play like that, and it's just like they feed off of it.
Yep. And and they're legitimately happy for one another when things like that happen. They like to win and everything, but the fact that they're together, and they've come through a tough preseason. where we weren't sure what we were going to be, to see where we are now it's really special.
And it's kind of and it's changing. It's kind of like the old Dolphin no-name defense where you're not looking to stop Zach Allen, or you just have a whole bunch of really good players that all play well.
Harris, yeah, guys like that. Yep.
I mean, there's nobody right now like that, but you got a Walker Blair, you got a Matt Salmini, you got an AJ Bell. I mean, these guys are all I don't even know how many people know about them right now, but you put them all together and you only give up 21 points in 6 games.
Yeah, it's they play so well together, and to mention, Will Pepe is in that down group, the linebacker with Jack Butine, and the secondary has really gelled as well. So it's been it's been fun to watch.
And then they all feed off a slide Chris Silvestri, your defensive coordinator, who's one of the more emotional coaches on the sideline. And you had it was the first or second series of the game. I'm not too far from him. And you had a 3rd and 1 and you stopped the play. And I thought he was going to break his arm. He was waving it so much. I love it. And he's energetic like that. It's hard for your players not to be.
Exactly. I mean, you have a lot of different personalities on that side of the ball, coaching wise, and they all seem to be able to reach different kids on different levels and are able to, get them to perform the way they do and really encourage each other. So, when you have that and the kid's not worried about my stats and what I did, and they're more concerned about, oh man, did you see Salmini make that tackle, or did you see Jack make that sack? I mean, they're more excited about each other, which is, when you have that, and there's no selfishness that I can see whatsoever. I mean, they just love going out and playing. So it's when you have that, that's special.
Yeah, I've probably interviewed 4 or 5 of your defensive players so far in the games I've covered, and they always use the word brotherhood or something very similar to that. I know I talked to Tucker, and he was just talking about how they he said that they're the group that set the weightlifting record of from all New Canaan teams, but he said I don't know if that's true or not, but he said that they all bonded in the weight room together. That's where it really started.
Well, I'll tell you, our strength coach, outside linebacker coach, Jason Miska, was probably one of the best, was one of the best hires for sure that I've ever made. Those kids are in there and he's gotten them stronger. And he knows each of them on a personal level. He does a tremendous job. And then out on the field, I mean, he's as good a football coach as you'll find around anywhere. He's been tremendous. One of the best things we've ever done.
Did you have any idea this was coming, or did you say we're going to be pretty good on defense, but you didn't know how good, or is this a pretty?
I think we graduated like 8 or 10 guys on the defensive side, with Vinny Cognetta and those guys. So you never really know. So everybody says, oh, you say every year, you're not going to be good. I never know how good we're going to be, because the kids come up through the ranks, and when it becomes their turn and it's their year, especially the seniors, they take over, and this group has really done a great job of doing that and carrying on the traditions that we've set, but also, trying to put their seal on a legacy that they're going to leave. So I think that's special because it's important to them.
And now, you've got, I don't know what your plans are for quarterback. Ty's come back and played in each of the last 2 games. I don't know if you're planning on splitting them again, but you have a chance to be more, maybe a little bit more versatile on offense than you had been if you're going to use both guys.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good problem to have. I would think that Ty will start this weekend. But,
You are.
the fact that we can, we can go to the other kid. And I think Russie down the road is gonna do well. The thing about him is that he's athletic enough, where we can use him in other areas. So, and actually Ty is too. So it's a good problem to have.
Now, I know you told me all along that Rusty would be a great wide receiver if he wasn't playing quarterback. So, so Ty, we break a little bit of news here. Ty's going to get the start against St. Joe's.
Sure, you can break that news.
You broke it for me. So, what about St. Joseph? That should be, everybody. They're kind of like the New York Giants. Everybody found out that they're only going to have 47 players. And all of a sudden they found out, everybody figured 47 players. This is not going to be a strong St. Joseph team, and all they do is win every week.
Well, Joe and his staff. They're some of the sharpest coaches around in the state, and that's why year in, year out, they're in the state playoff, and most of the time win it. They get good players, and they coach them up really hard, and they're good. So if you're going to beat them, you have to really do your homework, and you really have to have a few breaks go your way. They do a tremendous job, and everybody knows when they get St. Joe's on the schedule that they're in for a fight. So and we're expecting that for sure this weekend. But those guys do such a great job, maybe one of the best staffs in the state.
Other than one, I can remember you guys play pretty good games too when you play each other.
Well, last time they came to our place,
that was the bad one.
I think we were down 49-0 at halftime. So, and with a team, one of the best teams that I've seen, in the county in a long time. The only one that, and I don't know which one was better, whether Johnny's team when they won or Joe's team that year, but they were, they were very, very good team. Great. The running back, I forget his name. Sherman, was it not Sherman?
Sheridan.
Yeah. I mean, he was as good as we've seen, but it was a
that was a shocking night. That one there was a shocking night.
Oh yeah. I mean, I was on the sideline. I thought I was in a bad dream. I was having a nightmare. But then only to read the next day in the paper, it was real. So, and I got news for you, as bad as it was, it wasn't as close as the score indicated. I mean, they were tremendous.
What are the keys to the game going to be? We're taping this on Monday, so you've watched film and you start putting the game plan. What game plan in? What worries you the most?
Well, obviously any team that goes into a game, you have to try to, limit your mistakes. And we've done that pretty well so far. Control the football and not lose the turnover battle for sure. And then just, be consistent with what we've done. And, there's going to be a lot of prodding to see, what we're able to do against them, because you can look on film at all their games and they can look at us, but until you actually get up against them, that's when you have to make your adjustments and see how to attack them and how they're attacking us. And that's when the chess game comes in, which Joe and his staff play very well.
Did you think you were going to be 6-0 and number 2 in the state right now?
No, absolutely not. And it's such a pleasant surprise. And not only is it a pleasant surprise, but I mean, they're fun to be around. They're fun to be around. And I think our staff would say that as well. It's something you look forward to at the end of the day. You get to go to practice with them for a couple of hours, and you watch them develop and grow. And it's been great. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Has it made it more fun for you? Not that you ever don't look like you're having fun, but you almost look like you've been like a little reinvigorated this year, maybe a little bit more. Maybe it's just all the elements on the sideline where, your sidelines, it's energized, but sort of in a different way, maybe more because it's become a defensive oriented team as opposed to one that's been offensive oriented for probably about 15 years?
I think you can say that, but I mean, I think we're always invigorated, it's fun. It's fun. I mean, look at how lucky I am to be able to coach, in a town like New Canaan for as long as I've been there. It's been so great. I mean, the kids are great. The town support has been wonderful. So how can and then you have Bob Vanderhayden up there saying, "Here come the Rams." I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. I still get butterflies when I hear that, and I run out with the kids. It's awesome. It's awesome. I mean, what else? I can't even explain it to you. It's just a wonderful feeling to watch these kids, and it's especially wonderful to see them develop and grow and make their mistakes, but yet try to correct them and get better. And that's really what it's all about. It's all about, hopefully they'll be better off for their football experience at New Canaan when they get out into the real world and they become better citizens, better husbands, better fathers, and guys, better neighbors that you'd want to be associated with. Hopefully we can do a little bit of that for their experience that they have here.
That's a unique town. You see the kids that played youth football that, about 10 years ago were on the field for youth football night running on there. And now they're the Tigroffs of the world. I remember him talking about playing quarterback in third grade, and it just kind of comes full circle. They work their way up the system.
Well, if you go into the war room, which you've been, and you see that the biggest canvas picture we have is youth football night. And, you see all the youth players, lined up, and our guys run through them. And those kids grow up, watching the varsity kids and hopefully wanting to play on a Friday night for New Canaan and wanting to play in the Thanksgiving Day game. And I can't say enough about our youth program, and Chris Reed, who's the president of it, and the job that they've done with the youth football. It's been tremendous. And here you got guys, players that come up through the ranks, and then they come to the freshmen, and they move right on up. And each year you get a new group of kids, and they're all trying to outdo the last one, so it makes it fun. It really does.
Talking about a great football life, what's it like for you now? On a Thursday night, you could be watching Zach Allen on Thursday Night Football. And then if you play on a Friday night, on Saturday, maybe you're going to see your son, John, coach at UConn, or you're staying in and you're watching Drew Pine, who's the starting quarterback at Notre Dame. And I can name about 30 other kids who are playing at a whole bunch of different schools, but it's got to be a lot of fun. It's got to be rewarding.
There's never a time on a weekend that Franny and I can't go watch a game and watch one of our kids, play. And many times both teams will have New Canaan kids playing. And I think it's great for our town. And I think it's great for, I take a lot of pride in those kids and what they do. And does it get any better than what Zach Allen's doing right now? And, Lucas Nyang's going to be back. He's still coming off that injury, but he's going to be back. And, I text or speak to Drew on a regular basis, but not only them, but the other kids too, just to check in on them. Jack Connolly, who's starting at BC, he's helped me out a number of times with things up there. But it's I mean, how great is that? It's just, it's
got to be really cool.
Great time of the year.
Franny's had to buy a lot of hats.
Yes,
Franny might have the biggest hat collection, and
yep, that's for sure. That's for sure. But she loves it, so it's great.
Well, Lou, it's always fun having you on talking football, and
hopefully I won't get in trouble this year.
No, we made it through a pretty clean podcast there. I don't think nobody at the CIAC, nobody FCIAC. We made it through a clean podcast here, and we'd edit out anything. If you want to say anything now before we get off and anger anybody,
I'm good.
Well, it's always a lot of fun, and you know what you're doing. You guys are having a great year, and you guys are doing a great job with a bunch of new kids, 6-0, second in the state. And Friday night, Dunning Field's the place to be. We have New Canaan and St. Joseph. So thanks for taking the time, and best of luck and continued success for the rest of the year.
Thanks so much. Appreciate being here.
And that's the FCIAC football podcast. Sorry for my allergies here and all the coughing, but again, I want to thank Lou Marinelli as my guest, and thank Cooper Boardman for all the sound editing. Have a good week, everybody, and we'll be doing this again next Monday.